Boom. Yo. God. The thing goes skrrrr. Pop, 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 pop. Skitty, kid, pop, pop. And the poop, 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 boom. Skia. Toot, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Yo. God. The thing goes
Welcome to Fantasy and Chill, Week 8. I'm your quarterback, Ryan Keller, joined by Britt Crawford.
It's good.
As always, Ethan Hargrave.
What is up?
And behind the glass with the jams, we got Matt McCarthy, producer Matt.
What up, guys?
Whoa.
All right, we're coming to you live on a Monday night, changing it up a little bit. Usually we come on a Tuesday night, but our Astros decided to pull it out, playing in the World Series tomorrow night, so we decided to make a few exceptions. Any thoughts on the Astros?
Long dicking the Yankees. Thank you.
Yeah. The real deal, baby.
Oh, you've hopped on the bandwagon now, Britt?
I've always been an Astros fan, okay? It's just finally they got some fucking players, so I'm a little excited, okay?
Hey, man, I was there through those 100 lost seasons, man. I'm ready. Astros in 4. Sweet.
You and about 5 other people.
Yeah, just about. All right, so let's start off with our fantasy studs, as always.
Fantasy studs.
There you go, Matt. A little late this time.
A little late.
Okay, this was actually a pretty weak fantasy week overall. We didn't have very many high scores. I think sure 7 teams failed to score a touchdown this week. I think it was 8 quarterbacks scored less than 10 points. So just offense was down as a whole this week. So we're going to start out with our fantasy stud wide receiver. And this is a guy everybody knows by now. We have shit on him all season. But Amari Cooper finally busted out. He had 11 catches for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns on 19 targets. So what do you think the deal was here? I mean, I guess the Chiefs' defense is not really as good as we thought, but Marcus Peters and them could not shut him down.
I think the Chiefs really miss Eric Berry very badly. But, I mean, as a Amari Cooper owner, having in one of my leagues, I got to say after 7 weeks or 6 weeks of blue balls, to finally have him deliver like that.
Wait, did you start him?
Oh, yes, I did. By necessity.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
So
I was about to say, did you start?
I'm not gonna say I'm sitting here, playing 4D chess or whatever underwater. But yeah, by necessity, I actually had to play him. So
I'll take it. You won that matchup.
Handily, just like I did most of my matchups. I think I only lost 1 this week out of 5. So
Gotta say, if you were lucky enough to actually start Amari Cooper this week, it had to feel good just to see that payoff. Because I know our old whipping post in the GFA, old Terp, didn't throw him in there this week. And is he going to win this week? I can't even remember. Probably not. His team is
Probably not.
But if he would have played Amari Cooper, he would have won going away. So, but I mean, no one
immediately regret this decision.
I mean, but we all know what's going to happen, right? He's going to go off for 37 points this past week, and then you're going to play him at Buffalo, and he's going to go back to scoring 2 and 3 points again.
Well, yeah, the thing was, we knew the big game was cut. It had to come eventually. He's too talented of a guy, but it was unpredictable.
You know what's bad? He could have had more points too. I think he dropped about 4 or 5 balls.
Yeah, he still had the drops that he's had all season, but when you get 19 targets, it's easy to make up for it.
I saw something weird with him. I don't know if the website was just screwed up or what, but I saw he had 19 targets but 0 red zone targets. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, he was making plays on the Kansas City secondary. I mean, just nice runs after the catch, man. Like, he was trucking people. He looked pretty. Damn, he looked good, But how much of that is the Kansas City defense? I gotta say, it's probably 50-50. But the boy caught some balls finally, which was his biggest problem. So maybe going forward here, he's stick him on his gloves or something, and it'll look a little bit better. Because when he catches the ball, he can make some plays.
Yeah, and I mean, Crabtree still had the red zone touchdown, so.
Raiders passing game as a whole is trending up. We got Cooper and Crabtree balling out, and I mean, this is helping Derek Carr too. So if you've held out all season with any of those three guys, you are feeling pretty good about the future.
Just the game in general. I don't know if y'all watched it, but it was probably one of the best, if not the best, Thursday night game I've seen all year, if not, the past 2 years, especially with Romo calling it.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the end of that game, and it was pretty cool to watch them keep having an attempt to go for it, but I thought those penalties were absolutely stupid. Some of those calls would never be called, especially in a close game like that in overtime, or it wasn't overtime, but regulation, you know what I mean? But I think they were definitely getting bailed out at the end there.
It was Vegas, man. Vegas had their hands on it.
Yeah, something like that.
Good game either way.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was entertaining, unless you probably were a Chiefs fan. Then it probably sucked. All right, let's go to our next fantasy stud wide receiver. Who's in the same game. We got Tyreek Hill, 6 catches for 125 yards and a touchdown, and he added a 64-yard bomb in the third quarter where he just burned everybody.
Beautiful.
And I mean, when Tyreek Hill scores, it's going to be a lot of points because he has those big plays.
And he can burn it, brother. My only concern with Tyreek Hill is his durability. I've seen him take a couple of pretty big shots, and he's an integral part of that offense. As long as he stays on the field, just expect good things from the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a Kansas City wide receiver this successful since I think over Dwayne Bowe had a pretty good year.
Dwayne Bowe.
7 years ago. I mean, everybody thought Jeremy Maclin was going to be this stud guy too. I mean, he had his games, don't get me wrong, but Tyreek Hill is a stud at the wide receiver, and Alex Smith just loves him.
Stud.
Just throw it up and watch him go get it.
Yeah, have you seen his stat lines from each week, though? So first week, 26. Next week, 8. Next week, 20. Next week, 8. Next week, 16. Next week, 8. Next week, 25.
So you're telling me he's scoring 8 next week?
Yeah, all I hear is top 5 wide receiver.
Well, this is PPR, too, I think. But still, he goes off, then he kind of slows down. Goes off, slows down.
Hey, I'll take a 20-point game every other week.
Yeah.
He might be in that top 5 now after that 22-point game.
Yeah, he's probably pushing it pretty close. Our stud running backs, and Ethan, going to you for this one. Your boy, Ezekiel Elliott, 26 carries for 147 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he also added a 72-yard reception touchdown on a nice little screenplay. So why you still got him? I mean, this is awesome for now.
The cream rises to the top, as Macho Man just said. Always.
So this is pretty awesome while he's still on the field for you.
Oh, he's going to be on the field. He's going
for at least one more week, right?
At least one
that's
more
confirmed.
Week. At least one more week. I have to imagine that if it's gone this far, he's going to play the rest of the season. But I do have insurance in case something happens. You got to have insurance on something this big, right? But yeah, man, it looked he could have scored 60 fucking points, man. If the game was a little bit different, if they just would have let them out on the field a little bit longer, they had no business. The 49ers did not show up. They had no business being on that field with the Cowboys, and Zeke just punished them. Every time he touched the ball, punished. And that little pass. Oh, yeah. That little pass that he got on a little broken screen out to the side, amazing. This is, so good.
Yeah, that one pissed me off a little bit.
Hitting that nut plug.
Exactly.
Yeah, shout out Dak Prescott. I think that was the best complete game I'd seen the Cowboys put together all year. I mean, it is versus the 49ers, but everybody on the Cowboys looked good.
Okay, Ethan, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather just Ezekiel Elliott just get those 6 games out of the way right now and guarantee have him back for those fantasy playoffs?
Right now, that's a difficult question. I'm gonna say, or what?
I'm just saying it.
And miss out on the playoffs.
I serve the 6 games now. Get him over with. You get him back in week 14 or so, right in time for the playoffs. Or you never know if he's going to play the next week.
It's ride or die, dude. Really, I'd rather just not even know. I'd rather him not serve any time at all. Of course,
Well,
but
of
I mean, if it
course.
happens, it happens, and I can say, okay, well, because I knew drafting him that this could happen. I knew like I have to have this guy to get me to the playoffs, and I have to have this guy in the playoffs. And if it don't work out, it don't work out. You know what I mean?
Hey, here's a question too. Like, say he gets suspended like in week 14, where there's only like 4 weeks left. Will 2 of those games go into the he will have to serve it for playoff games?
I mean, if the Cowboys make the playoffs.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think they're good enough to make the playoffs. I'm just saying, like, would that happen? He would serve it for playoff games?
As far as I know, yeah, but
At that point, they'd probably appeal it down, and he'd win and make it only 4 games or something.
like, my bold prediction.
That's why I don't see why he does that right now, though.
He's not going to get suspended. I said at the beginning of the year he's not going to get suspended. If he does, then so be it. But
Yeah, but if they come to him right now and we're like, hey, we're going to suspend you 3 games, like, I think the Cowboys are going to take that.
yeah, I mean, I'd take that. That's a no-brainer. Like 3 games, and I can take a 3-game hit, you know. But to take us, this guy is coming around right now. I think they just came out of the bye, and it looks like they're, maybe they fixed a little bit of the issues with their offensive line. I think he's going to get stronger going forward, even though he's got a couple of tough matchups. But I need this guy to help carry me to the promised land where I end up every year.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those probably 5 to 7 guys in the league that can single-handedly win you a championship. So,
yeah, no doubt. You have to have a player of that caliber on your roster right now in order to get to the championship. You have to, or you're just, 4th, 5th place, and I don't buy belts. I'll win them.
oh,
Let's go.
oh.
Maybe one year you can come up to the major leagues in our league instead of playing down in the minors.
I don't want to touch y'all. Y'all don't want
Just
this.
kidding, just kidding. Eve.
I keep throwing myself out there. Y'all don't want the big daddy. That's okay.
We're talking about.
We're discussing. All right, next stud running back. This guy's looked really good since he's gotten the opportunity, and that's Aaron Jones. 17 carries.
TJ Yeldon.
Why the fuck would I say TJ Yeldon?
Just joking.
Okay, Aaron Jones. 17 carries for 131 yards, 1 touchdown, added a few catches. But if you looked at I think Ty Montgomery got 4 carries to his 17. So this is definitely Aaron Jones' backfield moving forward.
No doubt.
I like how you say what the fuck though, and TJ Yeldon was only 0.1 underneath Aaron Jones. Okay, that's probably the best game I've ever seen TJ Yeldon play.
Yeah, but most of that was on like a 65-yard touchdown.
Hey, it was a joke. But yes, going forward, I'm 100% on Aaron Jones. Ty Montgomery has lost his job as far as I'm concerned because Aaron Jones compliments Brett Hundley a lot more than Ty Montgomery.
Amen. I actually have this on my notes for Aaron Jones. Who is the real backup? Monty is the real backup now. Aaron Jones is a fucking stud. Complete running back. Love it. Man, I actually thought Green Bay had a chance. We saw what kind of formula they came out with Hundley back there, but man, they just had a couple of bad breaks. Running game looks good though.
Yeah, now with Hundley back there, he's just going to get even more of an opportunity because they're going to lean on him. I mean, they still lost that game, but for him to put up those kind of stats in a game they lost was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, almost averaging 8 yards a carry too. That's what's crazy. He's putting up these yardage with not that many attempts.
Yeah, he's real solid. I think the only thing that he needs to work on a little bit is pass pro, but that's going to come over time. And yeah, this looks like if this game was any indication of what they're going to look like moving forward, they're going to be a run first team instead of a pass first team. So
I like it.
Good news for you.
And if you saw his touchdown celebration on Lambeau Leap, he got a little over the pants action too. Good week for old AJ.
Yeah, I think they said Monty only played like 9 snaps that game, so definitely not eating into Aaron Jones's workload.
AJ though, is that what we're going with for his nickname?
I mean, that was on the fly, man. There's not much you can do with Aaron Jones, okay? Aaron. Yeah.
Might be a name. He might be a name to remember, though.
Definitely. We can throw old Monty onto the list of failed draft picks for Turpin, though. Just add it
He
to the
looked
list.
so good in the first 2 weeks, though.
Yeah, that injury really fucked him.
I mean, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Sorry, I was moving on. So go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Monty is not a running back. Anybody who thought he was a running back's fooled.
I mean, I just looked at his stats.
Aaron Jones is a running back.
Yeah, 19 carries for 54 yards, 10 carries for 35, 12 for 35, 10 for 28. Like, Aaron Jones is putting up 17 for 130. I mean, he's already had 200-yard games. Like,
yeah,
he's a running back.
A lot of people forget he was forced into that position last year, and he performed well for never playing running back in the NFL before. But now that Aaron Jones has stepped up, I think you'll see him transition back to wide receiver. At least that's what I would do. But I'm not an NFL coach, so what the fuck got him?
Word.
All right, let's go to our stud quarterbacks. Already talked about actually both of these guys a little bit, but Derek Carr, 29 for 52 attempts, 417 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And we already talked about it, but that Raiders offense finally showing some signs of life.
I'm not a believer, though.
Really?
Still not, no.
Yeah. There's a lot of third and longs that they converted, and you got to attribute that to busted coverage, poor tackling. The Kansas City defense is not the Kansas City defense from 2 years ago, let alone a year ago.
Yeah, true.
That's true, but when you got guys like Cooper and Crabtree out there, I mean, the ceiling is going to be huge every week.
I mean, but look at this schedule, though. At Buffalo, Buffalo's defense is good. At Miami, okay. Then they have a bye. Then they go New England, Denver, the Giants, Kansas City, Dallas, Philadelphia. Like, that's a tough stretch for the Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean,
Might be good teams, but I don't hear many good defenses there.
Hey, New England's defense turned it around, or Atlanta Falcons just suck ass.
I think that was a fog.
Oh, no! We suck again!
Speaking of that fog, you couldn't see the camera from the press box or whatever, but I kind of liked watching the game from the field level camera.
I didn't. A lot of people are saying on Twitter that they liked it and they wish they would go to that, but I thought it was
awesome in my opinion.
I thought it was too much to try to keep up with, though.
No, I mean, you could just see how big some of these guys are. Like, you could see what the quarterback sees, the routes, and his progression. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of cool to sit there and watch that.
Yeah.
I think it's cool for a few plays, but I'd prefer the regular view for games.
I mean, I was an intramural quarterback, so I have a little.
But we're not even going to get into that conversation.
Intramurals. Big time.
Other stud quarterback, Dak Prescott, 16 for 25, 234 yards, 3 touchdowns. Added 4 carries for 26 yards and a touchdown on a little QB draw. So, Britt, hope your whatever you gave Blake on the side was worth it for this one.
The nut button.
Yeah, we're about to change that to the Dak button because Dak Prescott is the real fucking
Britt. That was terrible.
Can I give it one more try?
Go for it.
The Dak.
Who are you? Chris Berman. Dak.
Oh, okay. Let's. I mean, good game, Dak. It looked. I mean, he was on point. The receivers actually caught the ball. Did you see that one catch that Jason Witten made? One-handed grab.
That was a sick touchdown.
Sick. While fighting off a guy that was on his back, pretty much. He was carrying 200 pounds on his back with catching it one. That's awesome, right? I mean, but really, the 49ers, they look like the Browns practice squad out there. I mean, it was just bad, but
I gotta say, it makes me feel pretty good about including him on my top 5 rankings last week. So
yeah,
about that going forward.
This Eagles Redskins game is going live. I didn't even know it was already time.
It was 7:30 on a Monday night. Where are you?
You know, it's a good time to transition into that. So let's talk about this Monday Night Football matchup a little bit. So we got Eagles Redskins tonight. I gotta admit, I'm watching the Rockets right now, so not really. I mean, H-Town, baby. Rockets, Red. Let's go, Red Nation.
Hey, wait, give me about 20 minutes, and I'll tell you who to start in this Redskins Eagles game.
Okay, but real quick, give me one prediction for the night.
Aguilar goes off.
When you say off.
100 and a TD.
I'm saying 35-31 Eagles. Take the over. There's going to be a lot of scoring.
Damn.
I'm saying Pryor. Pryor gets at least 75 yards, maybe a touchdown. You can't predict touchdowns, though.
Shit, Matt. I was about to say Pryor 80 yards and a touchdown.
Ooh. So we agree.
Oh, we're on the same wavelength there.
This is a game that I'm kind of I'm interested in to see how Fat Rob does coming back.
He's already got 2 carries, 7 yards. Are you calling a Fat Rob a big game?
Rob. Hey, I got him. He's my boy.
Here's a question. Will Chris Thompson lead the Redskins in receptions tonight?
Yes.
No.
Then who will?
I don't know.
Throw out somebody. Come on.
I guess Jamison Crowder. He's already got 1.
Jamison Crowder.
Hey, bold prediction, all right?
Okay, that's bold.
I think that
Stupid.
if they get the tight end involved, whoever it is.
Vernon Davis already has a catch for 30 yards.
Yeah, Vernon Davis. Is it just me? Am I the only person who thinks that Vernon Davis looks better than Jordan Reed right now? Am I the only person who thinks that? Vernon Davis looks like he found the fountain of youth, and he's living it up right now. He looks good. He really does.
The odds that Jordan Reed is completely healthy, though, are pretty low.
Even the more reason to take a shot on Vernon Davis if you're tight end hungry, because I think he could be a big part of that offense.
I mean, yeah, but the only way I'm playing Vernon Davis is if I know Jordan Reed's not in the game.
Yeah, I'm not starting a backup tight end.
Is he really the backup, though?
If anything, it's a timeshare.
All right.
He's getting looks.
All right, let's we're gonna go past Monday Night Football here. You watch the game; it's on. Watch the game, listen to us at the same time. Be a good experience for you.
Eargasm.
Exactly. We're gonna go now to a little game called Deal or No Deal. So what's gonna happen here?
Deal or no deal?
So I'll be playing the role of Howie Mandel and the banker here. So if you're familiar with the show, it's kind of old show, but anyways. So what's going to happen is everybody's going to be assigned kind of a struggling player, and I'm going to offer you some guys, and you tell me, would you make that trade, so deal, or would you not make that trade, so no deal? And we're going to kind of establish a little baseline here and a kind of range of players that maybe you can expect to get for that player. So, Britt, we're going to go ahead and let you lead off with Jay Ajayi, okay?
Let's go.
Okay, first name. You have Jay Ajayi. Would you accept a trade for Aaron Jones straight up for Jay Ajayi?
Yeah, that's a pretty good one, actually.
Deal
let's see.
or no deal?
I think I would take it. Yep. I would take Aaron Jones over Jay Ajayi right now.
Okay, Aaron Jones. What about
Deal. I'm sorry.
There you go, deal. We were looking for deal.
Should have held out.
What is deal?
Well, unlike deal or no deal, I'm going to keep making you offers, though. Because that would have been a shitty game if you accepted the first one and it was over.
Oh, you did.
That's true.
Looks like you got screwed. You had better players on the way, Britt.
Okay, what about Alvin Kamara?
No deal. No deal.
Really?
I don't know. I just feel like Kamara, I mean, he is a solid play, but when Mark Ingram's going to be there, Mark Ingram is much more of a threat to Alvin Kamara than Ty Montgomery is to. I mean, not Ty Montgomery. I don't know. I just feel like with Matt Moore in there now, Jay Ajayi is going to be a lot better. They're going to have to rely on that, on the run game more.
Marshawn Lynch.
No. Hell no.
Gross.
I think Marshawn Lynch is just on the way down right now.
One thing you got going for Ajayi right now is that you know he's going to get the volume.
Oh, 100%.
What he's going to do with that, you're not sure.
I mean, and I think Matt Moore is a better quarterback than Jay Cutler, and hopefully Jay Cutler stays out for a little while longer, but I think he'll look a lot better with Matt Moore behind there.
LaShawn McCoy.
For Jay?
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, deal 100%, but I don't think anybody's giving up LaShawn McCoy. I think the Bills are actually a contender. The Bills.
Jerick McKinnon.
No deal. I think Latavius Murray is just too much of a threat.
Okay, what about your boy Christian McCaffrey?
Deal 100%. I mean, he's not my boy. He's the great white hope. Let's get that straight, okay? The only white running back in the NFL.
So you're taking McCaffrey for Ajayi?
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
you'd rather have McCaffrey?
Oh no, I'm sorry. No deal. I'm sorry. I got this game.
Yeah, we got that. So you have
right?
Ajayi. You have Ajayi in this situation. So if you say deal, you're accepting the player I'm offering.
Sorry.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
Let's just clear that up.
I think you worded it a little weird for me. Let's just blame it on you.
I think I worded it right, but
next question.
DeMarco Murray.
Ooh.
That is a tough one.
Isn't that a side grade
or no deal?
I'm gonna say deal. I don't know. I just, for some reason, I still believe in DeMarco Murray.
Not scared off by Henry there?
Not after last week.
CJ Anderson.
Ooh. I'm going to say deal. I actually think CJ Anderson has more upside than JJ.
Okay, I got a couple more. Mark Ingram.
That's a tough one, too. No deal just because the timeshare. Like, JJ is still getting the carries in Miami. He might not be doing a whole lot with them, but he's still getting 20 touches a game.
I think Mark Ingram.
I'd take Ingram all day.
Yeah, you have to take Ingram.
All right, side bet right now. Who finishes higher, Mark Ingram or JJ?
Did they stay healthy, Ingram?
Ingram.
Ooh, I like
from week 8 on.
I like the potential with Ajayi there, though.
I don't. I think Ajayi's busted. I really do.
Mark Ingram's had 20 carries the past 2 weeks as well, so it's not like he's getting a lack of volume.
I think
Ajayi's had like 30 the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's had 25, 26, and 23.
Yeah, and what has he done with him?
Not a whole lot. You can ask Turpin on that one.
Okay, last one. Lamar Miller.
It's your 8 points.
Hey, that's Mr. 11 points to you.
Oh,
I mean,
sorry.
if you're taking the safe side, I'm going to take the deal. But if you want to win your league, I think Jay could potentially be that guy to carry you to the championship. So
I'll add this, though. If you have Jay, you're probably not in very good position right now because that was your first or second round, third round draft pick. So
that's very true, unless you were able to snag Kareem Hunt or someone like that in the late rounds.
Fournette.
Fournette was going second.
Okay, so we're saying that Jay is in the value range of kind of the 3 guys were Mark Ingram, CJ Anderson, DeMarco Murray. They were all pretty close right there. Lamar Miller.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't, his highest point total was 14, I think, last week versus Atlanta. I mean, it's just, I don't even think he has a touchdown this year. That's the sad part.
Does Ajayi even finish? Does he even finish in the top 10?
Well, I was about to say that based on that, we've kind of settled him as a rest of the year value 10 to 15 running back, somewhere in that range. I didn't even offer any of the top 10 guys. So
just give me Mark Ingram. I'm telling you.
He goes through a tough stretch too. Ajayi. He goes Baltimore, Oakland, Carolina, Tampa Bay, at New England, then Denver, New England again, Buffalo twice to finish out the year too, and then Kansas City.
I'm telling you, if he has a big game next week, I think you should think about trading him.
So high.
Yeah.
Should
All
have
right,
sold him
Matt.
last week then.
Yeah, you did. All right, Matt, you ready? You have T.Y. Hilton, and this is a real life scenario. Matt does have T.Y. Hilton. So are you?
So this is near and dear to my heart right now.
So are you ready for deal or no deal?
Deal or no deal?
Let's do it.
All right, first deal. T.Y. Hilton, or do you accept a deal for Jarvis Landry?
See, I had Jarvis on my team last year as well, and I know what he did to me. So I think I'm going to stick with Hilton. I'm not confident in it. I don't want the 6 points from Landry every week, even though he's been scoring a couple touchdowns. So
You'd rather have the 3 from Hilton?
I'd rather have the upside from Hilton. So I'm saying no deal.
Oh, okay. That's a no deal. What about Demaryius Thomas?
I have Sanders on my team, but I know that doesn't play into it. I think Sanders is the guy. Best. I would probably hit the deal button on that one. I'm taking Thomas.
Hitting the deal button. Guys, y'all can fire in some input too if y'all would like. So don't be scared.
Next question.
Okay, Kelvin Benjamin.
Kelvin Benjamin.
No deal.
You're saying no deal? I think I might take that one. Andrew Luck, I don't think he's coming back this season.
No, he's not.
Every time I get hope, something happens and they keep pushing it back. And after watching last night's game, or last day's game,
that was awful.
It was
okay.
Their offense.
He was playing against the Jaguars. Okay, probably the best secondary in the game right now.
I lost my hope. I lost my hope when it was 4th, and I think it was like 4th and 20, and Brissett checks it down for a 1-yard gain.
On 4th down?
On 4th down.
That's almost as bad as Andy Dalton throwing it out on the last play of the game.
Yeah, last play of the game. What the fuck are you doing? Just throw it. Who gives
Just give someone a chance.
All right, Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas, I think I already answered that off show.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's a
pretty much
deal
tried
all the way.
Trade Hilton and LeGarrette Blount for Michael Thomas and got declined, so I would hit the deal button.
Pierre Garçon.
Oh, another one of my guys.
Man.
Yeah, I'm just stacked at wide receiver, right? I think I would say no deal, just because I haven't seen Pierre score any touchdowns. Like, he's going to get a consistent, he has a consistent floor. He's going to get a lot of targets, but he just doesn't have the upside Hilton does, so I'm saying no deal.
Especially with that San Francisco defense, he's going to get a lot of targets. And you got to think that there's going to be so many opportunities. But I guess you could say the same about T.Y., couldn't you? They're kind of the same. They're kind of in the same spot, but I think T.Y. is the better talent.
Agreed.
Okay, what about Dez Bryant?
Give me that all day.
Yeah,
okay, I was just making sure, seeing if you're awake.
Okay.
I mean, look who's throwing to Dez.
I mean, don't hate on Brisket, man.
I mean, Brissett, I don't know. He's not an NFL quarterback in my eyes. He's just a little Band-Aid that they're trying to put in there so they can fill some seats at the Colts Stadium.
I totally disagree. I think he's a good player with a good skill set on a bad team.
He won't be playing in 2 years?
I mean, as long as he doesn't go to the Browns, I think he'd be okay in another spot.
Okay, what about Nelson Aguilar?
I'm going to interrupt real quick. We have a viewer question.
All right, let's go for it.
While we were talking about Dak, we have another Cowboy question. Ben Alvarado says, should I trade Zeke? And for who, if yes?
I mean, like we talked about earlier, if he avoids that suspension, you don't trade Zeke for anybody. He's as good as anybody you could get. I mean, the only guy you would probably say would have a better upside would maybe be Le'Veon Bell. But if you're convinced he's getting suspended, then I mean, Ethan, you're the Zeke guy, so you want to provide some input here?
Yeah, as a fellow Zeke owner, I understand where you're at, but you got to stay strong, my friend. Hold on to him because, I mean, right now, you're probably, if you're in the spot that I'm in right now in my home league, I'm 5-2 after this week, which is put me in a good spot. But I drafted this guy knowing what I was getting into, and I had a good feeling that he wasn't going to be getting suspended, right? So we've come this far, ride or die. I'm just holding on to him. I have to hold on to him.
Here's my thoughts also. If you were to trade him and he didn't get suspended at all, you would feel like a real McAsshole.
No, but if you go down, if you get suspended and it's like, oh, shit, you get suspended, so be it. But I really think it'd be foolish to try to trade away, one of the top 5 running backs, a guy that can get you a championship, a guy that can definitely get you to the playoffs. If you've got some solid pieces around like a Alex Smith or somebody like that, in a decent wide receiver, you should be set to at least get you to the playoffs. I don't think he's going to be suspended. I've been following this thing so long, I should have a fucking law degree, really. Like, it's silly how much drama has been involved and all these, TROs and all this shit. Bro, just hang in there. Zeke's going to carry you.
True, but I mean, like, if you can get, like there's, like, 2 or 3 guys, Le'Veon Bell, Fournette, Gurley, like, if you can get those guys, I would do the deal. You're probably not likely going to get those guys, but after that 46-point game, it could be possible.
Okay, with the risk involved, though, you're probably going to end up with some shitty second-class bundle. If you can rob somebody, by all means, rob them. But people are scared, and nobody's going to really give you an equivalent value for Zeke. I just feel like you're going to get robbed in the end.
What about Antonio Brown? Someone offered you straight up.
Antonio Brown and what?
For Zeke.
For Zeke?
Right now.
Right now?
Not knowing anything about the suspension.
Okay, I have faith in my wide receivers right now.
Okay, no, I'm just saying, like, what if your wide receivers were a little shaky?
If your wide receiver's a little shaky, and who's my second running back?
We're going deep down this rabbit hole here.
I mean, I'm just saying, you have to convince me. You basically have to convince me and give me something that's
without.
I'm giving you the number 1 wide receiver.
I'd have to have more. What are the wide receivers doing compared to the running backs this year?
Without knowing anything else, I would not trade Ezekiel Elliott for Antonio Brown.
Really? Okay. I think I might have to do that one.
It would have to be a special case, is what I'm saying.
I think it's a lateral move.
I think it is too. But just not knowing what the suspension is going to be. That's what I'm saying. Like, with Antonio Brown, he's going to be playing. Like, yeah, the injuries and stuff like that, you can't tell. But
Zeke is a guy, if he's playing, he's going off.
True.
It just have to be a special case for me to consider it. That's all I'm saying. Very special.
Right. I think that answers the question.
So there you go, Dan.
Back to deal or no deal?
Yeah, we got a couple more.
Or no deal.
Thanks, Howie. All right, we got a couple more wide receivers for TY here. Matt, would you take Nelson Aguilar?
God, I want to say no just because it's a guy you could have picked up off the waivers.
Yeah, no.
And I drafted Hilton, I think, in the 4th or 5th. So I would just hate to trade a guy that I drafted for a guy that someone picked off the waivers. So I'm probably just going to hold on to.
Okay, is that falling in love with the cards, though?
It is. But I'm doing it anyways. So no deal.
Gotta know when to hold him.
If you have a tough question, Matt, just phone a friend, okay? I'll help you out.
Phone a friend.
That's how this game works, right?
I don't know if that's the same game. I think
we're playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right?
I think on this game you're sitting on the couch off to the side and kind of like screaming and crying with him and stuff.
Take the deal.
Was that what you were doing this weekend when I was beating that ass?
Britt.
Just kidding, Ryan. Just kidding.
Oh, man.
We've already gotten to how lucky you got. The fact that 2 of my top 4 players decided they weren't going to play this week. So, yeah.
Do we have a crying sound drop, Matt?
It's good that you're taking it so well, Keller.
I would say that I'll get my revenge in the playoffs, but Britt, you're not sniffing the playoffs. So.
I'll take it as a challenge.
Just real quick, I got to play against my arch rival in my main league this week, and I fucking put him into the ground.
You mean?
And it feels good.
I just had this feeling all week. It's like I've been talking so much shit to Britt, and he's going to somehow win this game.
Fantasy gods,
somehow I beat you. I'm probably going to beat you by 30 points.
Fantasy gods, listen.
They do.
Britt, my quarterback put up 8 points against the Browns.
Yeah, Dolphins D, hell of a stream.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, so it's deal or no deal game.
All right, last deal. This is the last deal Bank's throwing out there. This guy's had a very similar season. Keenan Allen.
Deal or no deal?
I know that's your boy, Matt.
Who, Keenan Allen?
Yeah, you're always sticking up for Keenan Allen.
That's Derek's boy, but yeah, shout out Derek.
I honestly I was debating on whether I should trade Derek this week for Keenan Allen. I don't know if he would accept it or not.
I would do it.
Well, he probably wouldn't accept it for the fact that he offered me Gronk for Le'Veon Bell. a couple days ago.
Wow.
He was under the influence of some substance.
You
Hitting
stupid.
the pipe early. The wake and bake.
I think at this point I would hit the deal button, but I wouldn't be confident about it.
I would be confident.
What?
I mean, the Chargers just smoked the Broncos. Their offense got going a little bit, so.
Yeah, I haven't seen much out of Allen lately though. I think what do you have this week?
3 catches, 41 yards. But he's got a juicy matchup next week at New England, so.
Or is it?
Juicy.
Yeah, so I'd probably take it. I mean, Allen gets a shit ton of targets, and he actually catches them. So yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, out of the wide receivers, he had 7 targets. Travis Benjamin had 1. Tyrell Williams had 1. And then Mike Williams had 2. And that was it.
So give me the deal.
Give me the deal, baby.
Taking the
Give
deal.
me the D. I mean, what?
What?
All right, Ethan, moving on to the quarterback, and you are a Marcus Mariota owner.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to play a little deal or no deal for Marcus Mariota. And I'll throw some,
or no deal?
I'm also a Marcus Mariota owner, so I'll throw some input down on this one too.
Let's do it.
Okay, first name. Would you trade Marcus Mariota for Derek Carr?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would too at this point.
Deal. Sorry. Deal.
I'm not doing that deal.
No?
No.
I don't know why you're not a believer in Derek Carr. I don't get it.
Just something about him, man.
Okay.
Like when he's healthy out there, he puts up points.
When he's healthy, Mariota's better than him.
I mean, is he?
They struggled against the Browns defense. I mean, I have to think.
I still think that Hammy's bothering him, though. They're going to have a bye week, and then we'll see versus they go Baltimore, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Indy. Those are some passable defenses.
The Browns were a passable defense, weren't they? They were missing their top 2 corners, and he got fucking 8 points, Britt Crawford.
Like I said, man, his hamstring. His hammy.
Okay, the hammy
needs
ain't
his bye
affecting the
week.
Army, okay? All right, look, the only thing that really concerned me about Derek Carr heading into this past Sunday was his back issue. He came back from that little back injury. They had, who was it, EJ Manuel straight off the fucking being a barista at Starbucks, coming in there and throwing balls at Crabtree and Cooper. Now, it looked like they kind of forced him in there, right? But hey, he surprised me. He looked pretty decent. So
I'm telling you right now, do not start him versus at Buffalo. Do not start Derek.
no, yeah, that's okay. Buffalo's defense has been looking pretty good. So.
We're going to get into it in a second, but with all the buys this week, that probably a top 10 option, though.
Possibly.
All right, next guy, Matt Ryan.
Oh, that's a good one.
Matty Ice.
I'm really disappointed with Atlanta this year. I think that Kyle Shanahan and Atlanta miss each other right now. I really do. They should have never separated. But in fact, it brings a little tear to my eye. I think Matt Ryan. I think that's a slight upgrade. I think I'd say deal.
Ben Roethlisberger.
No deal.
Jameis Winston.
Ooh, Jameis Winston.
Deal or no deal?
Ooh, man. I'd say deal, but he might be on your waiver wire right now. Just throwing that out there. People give up on Jameis Winston.
Phillip Rivers.
I think I'd stay with Mariota on this. No deal.
Okay, the last one that you'd probably – the rest of these guys would definitely no one would trade you for him, but what about Matt Stafford?
I'm not big on Stafford, man. No deal. I just don't like. There's something about Stafford. I don't care if he's getting paid $100 bazillion dollars. Don't give a fuck how much he's getting paid. I still think that Detroit's not that good of an offense. I really don't. Matt Stafford, I think he's kind of past. I think he's capped out skill wise. What you're gonna get from him, I really do.
Fair enough. He does somehow always put up points, though.
Yeah, sometimes.
I would make that deal. I like Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think Detroit's going to surprise some people.
Nah.
I mean, what's their record? Bueller.
Was it 3-3?
I mean, if he didn't throw 3 pick sixes against the Saints, they'd win that game going away.
Yeah, way to go, Matt Stafford, looking good against the Saints.
Hey, what'd he put up, though?
He still put up 17 points with 3 pick sixes.
17 points.
Pretty good.
Huge. I mean, he was throwing the ball like 60 times during that game, so what do you expect?
They
But
go
still,
Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Cleveland, and Chicago. Not terrible matchups coming up as well.
I'm just not a big fan.
All right, I think that went pretty well. Little deal or no deal action.
Deal or no deal?
Refreshing.
Man, we should have stopped it right before the last offer because, that's what they always do on the show. And then, come back next week, see if he accepts the deal.
The cliffhanger?
The cliffhanger. Got to bring him back.
It's killing me.
All right, let's start looking ahead to week 8. And a big thing here, this is our first big bye week with 6 teams on byes. There's a lot of players going to be out this week, a lot of big hitters. So we have the Cardinals are on a bye, the Packers, the Jaguars, the Rams, the Giants, and the Titans. So if you're like me, you're going to be missing Leonard Fournette, Todd Gurley, and Marcus Mariota. So I'm not looking forward to this week at all. And I get to play old Matt this week. So, Matt, congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I still don't guarantee myself a win, though.
It really, if you have any Cards players right now going forward, you got to think it's game over. You really do.
Not a true stand believer.
I mean, no thanks. Not a big no.
You can start a club because there's not a club for that.
Yeah.
Last week when we were talking about our top 5 rankings moving forward, I don't know if anybody – I think someone did have Fitzgerald number 5, but his name did get brought up.
Fitzgerald, yeah.
Okay, well, Fitzgerald is not a top 5 receiver going forward anymore with Drew Stanton throwing him the ball.
Agreed.
Someone's got to catch it, right?
I mean, someone's got to catch the ball in Cleveland too, right?
No, not in Cleveland, man.
Not in Cleveland, man. But this also affects Adrian Peterson too moving forward a lot too because, their defense is going to be keying in on him now. That first game back when he went off, Carson Palmer was able to open it up, and then Adrian Peterson had open running lanes. So I don't think we're going to see that anymore.
Yeah, if you can trade Adrian Peterson right now, do it. Get some value depth or something. But
I forgot to say him earlier during deal or no deal. But Britt, if you're Jay Ajayi, do you trade him for Adrian Peterson?
Nope.
Okay.
No deal. Sorry.
One thing I will say about that though is if the Cardinals can keep the game close somehow, they're going to pound the rock with Adrian Peterson.
Somehow.
With that defense.
Not their defense.
And you just subtracted through this injury one of the best passers in the NFL this year. So see ya.
Oh yeah. With that said, Bruce Arians, before Carson Palmer got hurt, said he wanted to get Peterson at least 25 carries a game. I don't think that's going to happen now.
25? Jesus.
Yeah. That's what he said. That's probably coach talk too, but I do agree it is game over for the Cardinals.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we going to do now?
There it is. Classic. Rest in peace, man. RIP.
Wait, what was that from?
Aliens.
Bill Paxton, Aliens.
Never seen it.
You're missing out, brother.
Oh, great.
Fucking noobs.
Is it on Netflix or
Just can we get rid of this guy? I mean,
sorry I wasn't born in the 80s, faggot.
It's a fucking classic.
Whoa,
That
man.
is a
Whoa.
classic.
Was that F-bomb?
God.
That was a hard OT there on the end.
Let's just move on because I feel like we touched a nerve with Britt.
Oh, look, the listeners are dropping off by the hundreds. Way to go, Britt.
If anything, they'll be tuning in.
All right, 1 second. I got to do an ad read here. Okay, go ahead. We have no sponsors.
Oh, was that a joke?
I thought you were at least going to make something up. Like, come on.
Sponsored by BW Grinding.
Brought to you by BW Grinding.
You've heard of Grinder. We're even gayer.
Grind your chef. We'll grind your chefs all day long.
All right. How do you move on from that?
All right.
Segue.
Okay, so also this week we have our boy Deshaun Watson maybe getting his first real defensive test at Seattle. I mean, what are we expecting from our boy this week?
I'd say 250, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. I think it's gonna be a solid outing with probably like 30, maybe 40 yards rushing.
Over or under 20 points?
Under.
What if I said?
I think he struggles this week.
I do too.
I don't think so. I think that. I think it's very possible he can have over 20. Put me down for over 20. Nut button. Come on, let's go.
That's what I like to hear.
Give me the 20 plus.
Not like a homer, but
I'll put my nuts out there. Nah, man. See, here's the thing.
Wait,
here's
what?
the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. I have a rule with Texans players. Okay.
Hit me up.
I don't touch them. I don't normally touch them. It takes a lot for me to come out and say this about Watson. It really does. It really does. I honestly feel like he's just as good, if not better, than Dak Prescott. So if you've got that much faith in Dak Prescott,
hold on.
Honest to God, hand to God, I ain't sitting here trying to start shit. This is the honest to God truth. I really feel like he could be just as good, if not better, than Dak Prescott. And he's what has he done so far? Tell me.
Yeah. No, he could be, but he is not at Dak's level right now.
Britt, that's a fair assessment. I mean, when we did our rankings last week,
and fantasy maybe, yeah.
That's what he's talking about. Okay, but even not, Dak Prescott is that much better of an NFL quarterback than Deshaun Watson?
Dude, he's played. Okay, hold on. At Cincinnati, which was an OKD, the only reason he was fantasy relevant was because he had a 80-yard touchdown run.
That was his first start.
At New England, a soft D. Tennessee at home, Kansas City a soft D, and Cleveland a soft D. We'll see this weekend versus Seattle at Seattle. His first tough matchup.
Right now, I'll put my money where my mouth is. $100. Watson finishes ahead of Dak Prescott rest of the season, or at the end of the season. $100.
I don't know. I don't think I could take that just because Houston's going to be down having to throw the ball.
Whoa!
Dak is going to be up if Zeke plays because they can run the ball a lot better than the Texans at least. And Cowboys defense actually looks a little better than the Texans defense as of this past couple weeks.
Some news for the Texans. Dwayne Brown is coming back, so that, solidifies the offensive line a little bit.
I mean, it can't hurt.
True.
I mean, Britt, if you want to make that argument about soft defenses, look what Dak did when he played at Denver. I mean, that's pretty comparable. Only had 15 points.
True.
So what is?
I'm just saying.
What's Deshaun Watson? Okay, since week 2, what's his lowest point total?
19.
I mean, come on, give me a break.
Just saying.
Finishing ahead, he's gonna be ahead of Dak Prescott, no matter where he ends up.
I think we're all believers in him. I think he struggles this week just because he's played like 3 of the easiest defenses the past 3 weeks.
I'm not expecting for him to set the world on fire, but I'm not expecting him to have 150 yards and 3 picks. I'm telling you, it's going to be a solid outing.
Fair enough. All right, last topic for next week. About the Panthers. I mean, they looked like absolute shit against the Bears on Sunday. They scored, 3 points. So do they get back on track playing the Bucks this week? They do play the Bucks, right?
Divisional game. I can't remember if it's on the road or not. But You guys, anytime there's a divisional game involved, you just kind of got to throw the book out. I mean, these teams are very familiar with each other, so
It'll be at Tampa Bay.
At Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is looking kind of suspect defensively. I mean, Tyrod Taylor was their daddy over the weekend.
I mean,
but
for this Panthers offense had shown signs of life the last few weeks, and for them to get absolutely decimated by the Bears, I mean, that was just a bad look for the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Cam because I have a no Cam policy on this show.
That one Bears dude, Jackson, had 2 defensive touchdowns over 75 yards. That is absolutely ridiculous.
That's what's crazy, too. If you started Panthers D, you still got 15 points.
Yeah. 14 of those points didn't count against you. They only gave up 3 points.
Trubisky only had like 4 completions, I think.
It says 5 points allowed. Oh,
yeah,
safety or something?
Trubisky threw the ball 7 times that game and they still won.
Sorry, 7 throws. Wow.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, amazing. That's Cam giving the game away. So
I just feel bad for those guys who started Cam because he has been playing pretty well. And then
yeah, what was that? 2 or 3 solid weeks that he had, and then it's just like I can see, oh yeah, Cam.
Yeah, 34, 27, 20, and then 7.
And then feels bad, man.
It's the way fantasy goes.
Such as fantasy, yes.
All right, let's get to a few toss-ups. So this is kind of more of a rest of the season question because their team's on a bye this week. But with Leonard Fournette having the shaky injury history here, do we like Chris Ivory or TJ Yeldon better the rest of the year?
I didn't even know that TJ Yeldon was in the league still. I mean, he had that one big run on a bad – the strong safety completely misplayed that run like horribly. If you go back and watch it, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, but I had to go Ivory, man. Even though he dropped the ball, I believe in him way more than TJ Yeldon. TJ Yeldon's third string for a fucking reason.
Yeah, I'm taking Ivory. I mean, he still had 17 carries compared to Yeldon's 9, so and he still had a touchdown.
Ooh.
So we had an ad during the Monday Night Football game.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, that was our sponsor, but I had to cut him off.
Just like 2 lines of a song. That was all we got.
Yeah. Well, I have the game cast up for the Monday Night Football in case anyone's wondering.
Man, Wentz already threw a pick.
I was trying to figure out how that song was relating to what we were talking about, like if you had some cut there. And I was like, huh. I was talking about bad times, so kind of made sense.
Back to the discussion that I'd also take Ivory.
Sidetrack.
That was the first game Yeldon played this year, and I mean, I guess he got a touchdown out of it, but.
Okay, so if Fournette stays relatively healthy, the answer is clearly Ivory. But if he were to go down and be out for multiple weeks, I kind of like the potential of Yeldon there, kind of taking more of that rollover.
We've seen Yeldon, though.
Yeah,
we know what he is.
Yeah, we know who he is.
And Chris
Khaki
Ivory's
pants,
been a
man.
stud.
The what?
I said, and Chris Ivory's been a stud in the past.
I mean, he had a very good year versus when he's healthy. I don't think he's healthy.
I'm telling you, the only thing that scares me about Ivory is his running style. It's balls to the wall. He's kind of like I don't know if you remember Bob Sanders, the safety for
that was hurt every year.
Yeah, he was hurt every year, but won Defensive Player of the Year one year, right? Like it's because he did not restrict himself to just tackling somebody. He had to blow you the fuck up, and he was a little dude. So, and I don't think Ivory's that big of a guy, but he plays like he's huge, right? And he runs so violent. One week, 2 week stretch, really like Ivory, but he's just going to get hurt. I just think that's just what's going to happen.
I think it would just turn into another one of those running back by committees that the whole league is turned into nowadays. If you don't have one of those workhorse running backs.
All right, next toss up. Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson? Kind of rest of the year thing.
Rest of the year, I'd take Watson. This week, or week 8, I'm taking Wilson, though. I've already stated I think Watson's
We'll have two parts of that question. We'll have this week because they're facing each other, and then the rest of the season.
I mean, Wilson's already got his bye week out of the way. Well, I guess Deshaun Watson does too.
So does Deshaun Watson.
Wow.
You can play the "you stupid" drop, Matt. Sorry.
You stupid.
How
There you
many
go.
deep are you right now, Brett?
Do what now?
How many beers deep are you?
That
How many
answers your
pops?
question.
3.
That's it?
3. If it's somewhere between 3 and 5.
Lightweight. I like Wilson slightly ahead of Watson, but I really think that Watson, of course, rest of the season, I got him up there. Gotta go with him.
I'm going to take Wilson just because I've seen it before. I still think people are in for a rude awakening versus Watson. I don't know why. Like, I'm a Watson believer, but like, you can't have this much success as a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Like, even Carson Wentz last year, didn't he like start off pretty hot and then he cooled down? Like, people started kind of figure him out.
Dak Prescott did.
Dallas has a lot better line than the Texans.
I am worried about Wilson, though, just because as an owner, I see it every week. He starts off so slow in every game. I mean, this past game, I think he had 200 yards in the first half, but no touchdowns. And then, like, the second half, he'll just come and start getting touchdowns out of nowhere. But it scares you each week. You see it.
Okay, but with his schedule, tell me when I say a defense that scares you. Houston, Washington, Arizona, Atlanta, San Francisco. Like, Philadelphia, the first defense he really has to face is Jacksonville in Week 14. So.
Washington with Josh Norman? Yes.
It's at home, though.
I mean, I do think the way Seattle has to win is through the arm of Wilson because they cannot run the ball. Like, they have 5 running backs on their team right now, and all of them are garbage. So it's either by their defense or just Wilson carrying them to victory.
If you got 5 running backs, you got no running backs.
Shit, yeah.
All right, these next two are kind of personal to me here. So I'm going to be without Mariota this week, as we already mentioned. So these are my best options on the waiver wire. So a little input would be appreciated. We got Tyrod Taylor at home versus the Raiders, Andy Dalton at home versus the Colts, or the now hot Josh McCown at home versus the suspect Falcons defense.
Oh. Man, I think it'd be a coin flip between Dalton and Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I'm taking Dalton. I think they're going to get it back together this week versus the Colts, and A.J. Green's going to have a big day.
Yeah, I can definitely see A.J. Green just going for an 80-yarder, 85-yarder, just a bomb.
Yep.
And Matt, I don't care about your answer here.
I was going to agree with him, but yeah, fuck you too.
I mean, the Colts, and fuck the Colts, by the way, but the Colts defense is busted.
Mainly because I'm playing you this week, Matt. So
I forgot about that.
Just kind of throw that out there. No, I'm just not a complete asshole, you know.
Well, and if that's the case, I think Blake Bortles is on the wire.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he might be a good pickup. Though Colts made Bortles look like a competent quarterback this week, so it just gives
I don't know,
more.
Maybe I should pick up Beat Hard.
Oh, Beat Hard, man.
Oh man.
Simeon's looked good last few weeks.
Yeah, that hot start.
Yeah, he slowed down a little bit.
Safe to say he's not in the waiver wire segment anymore.
I think we're kind of getting to the point in the season where having a competent backup quarterback, I guess if you want to call it, is, just picking one up off the waiver wire is getting, the pool's getting smaller, right? So maybe at this point, what I've done is in all my leagues is I've grabbed somebody who I think could be a serviceable quarterback heading forward, just in case something like this happens and I don't have to have, Sean Kaiser or whatever his name is, and I don't have to get the Browns.
I was about to bring that up. That I know this has no fantasy relevance whatsoever, but what the fuck are the Browns doing at quarterback? Like,
oh my god!
I think you can
how
say
pissed
that
are they
every
that they didn't
year
draft
for
Deshaun
the past
Watson?
10 years, though.
True.
It's just ridiculous. It really is.
The thing is, would Watson even be succeeding in Cleveland like he is here?
No.
Cleveland is where quarterbacks go to die.
Myles Garrett looks pretty good though.
That's every quarterback ever.
Good old JR.
The call.
Okay, next one. These are I'm also going to be without Leonard Fournette and Todd Gurley, so one of these guys is going to have to play for me this week.
Oh.
I really don't want to start Frank Gore again versus at Cincinnati. He's just so uninspiring to look at your lineup and see him out there.
Yeah.
It's like I already lost.
Mud.
Do I take a risk on one of these guys? Tariq Cohen at the Saints or the hot Ted Ginn Jr. versus the Bears?
Ted Ginn.
Anybody else?
You can go look at the waiver wire.
I'd say Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn's been seeing some action, man.
I think he's Drew Brees' new favorite target.
Yeah, he seems to be. He's the as I like to call it, the fuck it receiver. So
I'm sorry, Britt. I could start Sammy Watkins. Let's add him in there.
So really, you have two options.
I agree with Ted Ginn, but the thing that does have me worried is that Willie Snead's going to start getting some more play. And
I mean, we've been saying that for 4 weeks now, right?
Oh, I think Sammy Watkins is on bye.
Ted Ginn's.
Yeah,
so I have some stats pulled right now, but Ted Ginn's snap share percentage has gone down, but his target share percentage has gone up. So when he's on the field, they're looking for him, but he's on the field less than half the snaps right now.
Yeah, I mean,
he's pretty speedy.
If you're a gambling man, roll him out there, but you're taking a very big chance.
He's caught all 13 of his past 14 passes that have been thrown to him. So I'm not counting on the 100% completion percentage the rest of the way. He's no Will Fuller.
He's been known for drops in the past.
I mean, I'm still probably rolling out Frank Gore just because I think the Colts might be able to keep it a little closer with Cincinnati and be able to run the ball a little more. But Frank Gore is the safe play.
You can tell that Indianapolis does not want to win because they're not throwing Marlon Mack out there.
Well, this was the first week Marlon Mack got more snaps and touches. I think they equaled touches, but he had more snaps than Frank Gore.
If they don't want to win, though, why'd they trade for Brissett? Like, I mean, if you want to lose, Tolzien's your guy.
It's smoke and mirrors, my friend. They're going the full tank mode.
I mean, I'd at least try to get that number one pick. Not when like the Jets were supposed to be doing, but they're actually turning out halfway decent this year.
They're actually kind of a gritty team, really.
All right, let's kind of close like we do every week. Let's hit up the waiver wire. Do we have a waiver wire drop?
That was it right there. Hit it again.
Waiver wire.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, first guy on the list. He is actually, I think he's owned in our league, but he's still available in 35% of all ESPN leagues, and that is Latavius Murray. 18 carries for 113 yards and a touchdown, and finally showed some signs of life in that depleted Vikings backfield.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not using like a top waiver claim for him, but if he's there after waivers clear, I might think about snagging him if you got someone on your bench that you're just not confident anymore.
Yeah, definite 331 guy. If you got
there, you go.
Seriously, and if you're doing free agency, fantasy bucks, whatever you want to call them, I'm throwing a couple bucks at them, but I ain't spending no 25% or anything like that. That'd be ridiculous.
Okay, what about
I think it's just another running back by committee there as well.
Yep.
They're going to ride the hot hand. That's all they're going to do.
Okay, this guy is still available in our league. James White. He had 5 catches for 28. He's always involved in that passing game. Tom Brady likes him a lot. Is he a guy you consider using a top waiver spot on?
No.
I think it's the same thing with Murray. Just if he's there, and I mean, you got someone you're just willing to drop or just hasn't been cutting it for you. I mean, he has the upside, but once again, I mean, he's got Gillislee to compete with and Deion Lewis. So,
does he play for the Patriots still?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Then no, I'm not picking him up.
And they just threw in Rex Burkhead. We all forgot about Burkhead, but he's back and healthy, and he was running fiercely against that vaunted Falcons defense. But I mean, I think that White is somebody that I could see maybe thrown in there as a flex flyer, maybe if I'm having some bye week issues.
Well, you heard who my other options at flex are this week, so it's definitely an option for me.
Yeah. I mean, I can see where he has potential because he is a nice target for Brady. But yeah, I just wouldn't go into it expecting for him to set the world on fire. And I'm not spending a top waiver spot on him unless I absolutely have to.
All right, so on the same note, Deion Lewis still available. He had 13 carries for 76 yards.
Yeah, I'm taking Deion Lewis over James White.
Yeah, he actually got the start, and I think he's really starting to find himself as the main guy there. I really think that. I mean, obviously, I've said before, I think he's the best back there by far overall, and he just. I mean, he's just going to keep proving it. I think he's going to have a little bit more of a role heading forward. Gillislee looks like he's playing second fiddle to Lewis. And
with that said, do you drop Gillislee?
Nah,
I don't think you drop him yet, but
yeah, Gillislee is drop. Ooh, there it is. Gillislee to me is like a blunt. You know, I don't think it's value. There's some people who drafted him a little bit earlier than they should have in the draft. I just don't. I don't feel like he's going to give you, but I don't feel like he's going to give you. He's not, I just don't feel like he's consistent at all. He had that big game, week 1. Everybody's busting nuts about him. Oh yeah, it's LeGarrette Blount, version 2.0. No man, this guy is Jonas Gray. That's all. That's what I think about when I see him. No.
Okay, we already talked about him earlier, and none of y'all are believers in him, but T.J. Yeldon is definitely available. 9 carries for 122 yards and a touchdown, playing that shifty sidekick to Chris Ivory.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only probably touching him if I have Fournette and someone already picked up Ivory, then maybe just because we don't know how long Fournette's going to be out, even though I think he'll be back week 9 versus Cincinnati, but that's the only way I'm picking him up.
Yeah, they do have a bye this week.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have a couple of Raiders backs with Marshawn Lynch being a dumbass and trying to fight his own teammates out on the field. He's suspended for the next game, but who knows how he's going to be treated going forward by the team. So we have DeAndre Washington, who had 40 total yards and a touchdown, or Jalen Richard, who had 76 total yards. Who do you prefer out of those two?
I think Richard's the more explosive of the two backs. I think I would have to go with Richard. It looked like he was getting a little bit more snap action. I don't know the snap count, but it looked like he was getting he was a little bit more involved with the total game plan after Marshawn.
Breaking news: Chris Thompson reception touchdown.
There you go.
Put it on the board.
Put it on the board.
Hey, but Jamison Crowder has 2 catches, so that's tied for first right now.
Bold predictions.
And Jake Elliott has a 50-yard field goal. So Keller, I'm beating you 113 to 86 now.
Was the score update necessary?
Oh, I thought we were just updating people.
Yeah.
Rubbing it in.
Hey, he's
Yeah,
undefeated, okay? I'm the first team to beat him, so I want him to feel this.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, there's the voice.
Okay, last guy still owned, or he's only owned in half of ESPN leagues, and that's Matt Forte, who had 12 touches for 82 total yards. Do we have any hope of Matt Forte keeping it going? Did Powell play on Sunday?
Powell there. It's just kind of. Do I know Turpin?
What?
Oh, you said it was Turpin back. I did the long.
No, I said it. Did Powell play this Sunday?
Yeah, no, he was definitely in the game.
No, I think if Powell is owned in any league, then Forte should be, because they're pretty much. It looks like they're splitting carries right now.
They are. I mean, Powell had 9 rushes, 43 yards. Forte had 7 for 41, and then Forte had 5 catches, 40 yards. Powell had 2 for 40. So, and no touchdowns by either of them.
Yikes.
I mean, Forte's getting like 10 to 15 touches each game, which as a waiver wire pickup, that's not terrible.
Yeah, that's
No,
pretty
I
good.
mean, I definitely pick him up because, I mean, like, on your bench, there's got to be some, like me, I have Alex Collins. I'd probably drop Alex Collins for Forte, to be honest with you.
Oh, the guy you were trying to trade me the other week as my handcuff to Buck Allen?
Hey, you did Cohen, right? Yeah, I know you're into handcuffs.
Yeah, but Jordan Howard's a his
Kinky.
running back.
He traded for
Allen's-
Cohen and then dropped him like 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
It's true.
Matt's a little kinky. He likes handcuffs.
Kinky.
Is this true?
Yeah, how's your Martavius Bryant doing?
On my
asking for a
bench.
trade.
Riding the pine. Hey,
Yeah,
I
he
still
doesn't
got him
get
at least,
traded.
okay? At least I honor my trades.
That is some news, I guess, worth talking about. Is Martavius Bryant's been asking for a trade
I'm
now?
gonna get in that in a second. Just give me
Okay.
some
I
time.
think
you know?
called in sick today to practice. I guess I didn't know you could do that. But.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hurt his nose.
Ooh, went to rehab.
Okay, I don't want to start any rumors on Martavius Bryant here. So
Yeah, he's clean, man. It's changed.
okay, let's go to some wide receivers. So my top wide receiver on the waiver wire we talked about already. I already own him in our league, but Ted Ginn is still owned in about 60%, or he's not owned in 60% of leagues, so he's 60% available. That's what I was getting at. But he had 7 catches for 141 yards, and this is 2 weeks in a row where he's kind of been Drew Brees' favorite target.
Pick him up.
And that pass-happy offense, I think he's going to keep seeing a lot of opportunities, although Matt did bring up his snap count going down every week.
Yeah, but I mean, I think if he still is able to perform, like he's going to get more targets than I think Willie Snead and Brandon Coleman, which would put him in that number 2 role behind Michael Thomas. So I think I'd pick up Ted Ginn right now if he's available.
Yeah, I mean, they're not wasting a. Maybe not. He's a. Okay, I want to say that he's more than a 331 guy, but you know, I just say I see he has value. That's all I'm gonna say. Value.
So he's like a bottom of the waiver guy. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna use like a top 3 waiver spot on him, but if you're like sitting at 7 or 8, then you might use your waiver on him.
Yeah, you need a little bit of wide receiver help or something. Why not?
I think out of all the waivers you've said, I think he's the best so far. But that's not
So
saying
far.
much.
Yeah, he's the one that he's the best looking dish on the menu so far.
Okay, what about old Kenny Stills? 6 catches for 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looks to be a favorite target of Matt Moore, who's probably going to be starting going forward up there.
Now we get to this guy.
Yeah, it's a little scary because, I mean, once Devontae Parker comes back, you know he's going to cut into this. And then, I mean, Jarvis Landry's there as well, so it will be interesting to see.
I think last year when Matt Moore came in, he hooked up with Stills in 3 straight games.
Yeah, he loves Stills.
So for whatever reason, they have a bromance together. So I'm actually kind of high on getting him. I don't think it's bad. In fact, you know, it's something that I might do in a couple of my teams.
Can we get into why the hell were the Dolphins starting Cutler over Matt Moore to begin with? I mean, Matt Moore is clearly better at this point.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like it's like one of those deals where where somebody meets a chick and gets married to him 2 weeks later and realizes once they start living together that this bitch is crazy. Get me out of here. But they've already spent the money on it.
Like, Deshaun Watson is so much better than Tom Savage. It's, I mean, apparent on the field, but why the hell were the Texans starting Savage? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess you can say that about everybody. You're not going to know until they actually get in the game.
At least the Texans dropped Savage after a half, though.
True. But, I mean, well, somehow Miami, what are they, 4-2 now?
Yeah, they won those games, and no thanks to Cutler, though.
True, but, I mean, if the quarterback's winning, he's going to stay out there.
I think, yeah. I think Stills is a good pickup for this week. A solid pickup for
I
this week.
mean, Mark Sanchez proved that a few years ago for the Jets. Like, they were just winning games because of their defense, but he was still, they had nobody better. He was still a quarterback.
So I'm browsing browsing the fantasy football Reddit right now, and surprisingly, one of the first threads is talking about Kenny Stills and how he had 23.5% of Matt Moore's targets last year. So he's going to get the targets.
Bromance, I'm telling you, there's a bromance there.
Okay, let's go to Travis Benjamin. had 42 yards and a touchdown, but he also added the punt return touchdown. Now, I know that's not going to be a thing that happens all the time, but he does add that little bit of potential returning punts.
If your name isn't Keenan Allen, I really don't know if I want to waste my time with you on San Diego, really. Or, I'm sorry, are they LA Chargers now?
They are the Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay, I don't want to deal with, Keenan Allen or bust.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Hunter Henry's a tight end, but he's the only one actually viable on that offense, besides Melvin Gordon, obviously. But
Yeah, Melvin Gordon, come on, that's goes without saying.
even though Gordon didn't have too much of a hot week, did he?
No, not really, but
Okay, what about anybody ever heard of this guy? Deontay Thompson. 4 catches for 107 yards.
First time I ever saw him was this weekend. They just signed him on Tuesday, and he goes up there and puts up some yards, bro.
I think you asking if we've heard of him should answer your question right there, that we're probably not going to be picking him up. But
Yeah.
Do you know what team he plays for, Britt?
yes, I do.
And he's looking it up right
No,
now.
I'm not. Hold on. No. I saw his name earlier. Fuck. Hold on.
Ryan's with Buffalo Bills.
That's actually the exact
Yeah.
team.
They drafted that Zay Jones guy who has just been fucking awful so far. And then Jordan Matthews, he's still hurt, right? Because he actually showed a few signs of being somewhat viable.
The Bears actually dropped this guy, I think, last week or on October 10th or something, if my memory serves me correctly here. But yeah, he goes out there and catches passes from Tyrod Taylor. Looks like a decent receiver. You know, if you want to get if you want to do like a wide receiver lottery pick or a lotto grab, 331 that guy.
You know, it's crazy. Jordan Matthews is still the top wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills.
How long has he been out?
He had 2 catches for 10 yards versus Tampa Bay. He didn't play week 5 or 6. That was a bye.
They were leaning heavily on Clay until he got hurt.
Yeah.
So, RIP.
Now they're leaning on Shady.
Now they're leaning on Shady.
Hey, my prediction's looking pretty good.
Shady?
Top 5 running back.
Here you go, Marty.
For 1 week.
I like him.
Oh, yeah, but
I'm pulling for the guy.
I'm just saying it started off pretty well.
All right, next guy, Alan Hearns. 5 catches for 101 yards.
Do we trust him moving forward?
Do we trust any of these guys?
Good
I
question.
don't think it's them. I think it's Blake Bortles we're having a hard time trusting.
Is Blake Bortles the new Eli Manning where you have, like, good Eli, bad Eli? Is he good Blake, bad Blake?
Yeah, except you just get the bad with him.
I mean, well, you see he's shown before he has the capability, right? But
I mean, if Fournette's in the game, they're just going to lean on him.
no, why not?
Okay, next guy, coming back, little reemergence. We got Cooper Kupp. 4 catches for 51 yards and a touchdown, but the main thing here is he had 10 targets.
I mean, we know that Jared Goff likes him.
The one-time Britt Crawford starting wide receiver this year.
One time.
After that 14-point week 1, I started him and he got me 3. So then I dropped him.
Cold, man.
Actually, I mean, yeah, he's got 33 targets. I mean, Robert Woods is the only one ahead of him in targets at 37. I think Todd Gurley actually leads the team in targets, right?
He's got to. God, Sammy Watkins.
Or he's got 30. No, actually, Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp are beating him.
How many targets does Sammy Watkins have?
24. So, I mean, Jared Goff is doing a good job of spreading the ball around. It's going to be tough to say, but I think the wide receiver I'd like to have is Robert Woods.
How many targets does Tavon Austin have?
10 targets, 5 catches for 19 yards.
Ugh.
He actually has 22 carries for 108 yards, though. That's surprising.
Yeah, I was watching the game on Sunday, and they gave him like a carry in the red zone. I was like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Give the ball to Todd Gurley.
This ain't fucking West Virginia. Like,
But they gave him that big contract a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was retarded.
They're trying to that Jeff Fisher special, baby.
All right, last guy here for the wide receivers we're going to talk about. Martavis Bryant's best friend. We got Juju Smith-Schuster. 2 catches for 39 yards, but he added another touchdown. He's got quite a few touchdowns this year, if I'm remembering correctly, right? And a killer celebration game of hide and seek.
Yeah, I think he's a decent speculative ad, especially if Martavis Bryant just somehow wiggles his way out of Pittsburgh. I think he might his value obviously goes up. So, he could be a smart investment.
I'm still valuing Martavis Bryant over Juju Smith. I mean, Antonio Brown has 74 targets. That's expected. And then Martavis Bryant's actually second with 34, and then Juju Smith with 24. The only real difference is Juju Smith has 2 touchdowns. Martavis Bryant only has 1. I think Martavis Bryant's going to eventually get it going. I mean, once they lock down Antonio Brown, they're going to have to throw it somewhere else.
It just hasn't happened yet.
That game script hasn't been there, though. Like, when have they been down and Antonio Brown's been covered?
But the game script should have been there already.
True.
We didn't talk about the Steelers and their target distribution and stuff. Can we just say how much of a beast Le'Veon Bell is again? He had another 35 carries on Sunday.
He's so fun to watch, too. He really is.
He's got 39 targets on the year.
God, man, they got close to the goal line so many times, and he just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. I was like, come on, man. Like, he had 202 total yards and no touchdowns.
And I'm telling you right now, like, we've been through this situation before a couple years ago when Bell went down. Like, if you have Bell, you need to have Connor, because we saw that a couple years ago when Bell went down. DeAngelo Williams went off. I think any running back in that system is going to have success.
Britt, stop trying to scare me. Just because you picked up Connor this week for some god awful reason.
Am I scaring you because I'm making a good point?
No, you're making an awful point. There's a reason I didn't have Connor in the first place.
I'm telling you right now, if you have Bell, you better have Connor.
Well, that's like saying –
and that's a threat.
If you have Todd Gurley, you better have Malcolm Brown.
And you don't either.
Yeah, because that's stupid strategy. Like, he's not going down.
Oh, is it stupid? Well, guess who didn't have Chris Ivory this week when Fournette wasn't playing and had to start Frank Gore?
And Chris Ivory did shit, and I would have lost regardless.
He had 9 points. I'll take it.
Yeah, you'll take it because you're starting McCaffrey every week who's scoring 4.4.
Hey, guess who's beating you by 30 points, asshole?
Fuck and get it over with.
Sorry.
Okay. Now that we're getting kind of close to the end, I had a question for y'all. Actually, I was thinking about something today, and I want to hear y'all's input. So, how a couple weeks ago we were talking about how Prescott's value probably goes up if Zeke gets suspended?
Okay.
Why do we say that for Prescott, but say for someone like Carson Palmer, when Adrian Peterson comes over, we say his value also goes up? Like, Palmer's value goes up when he gets a running back, but Prescott's value goes up when he loses a running back. I feel like people just make these arguments just to boost their players. Just something I was thinking about today.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Dak Prescott he's just one of those quarterbacks who can beat you if he has a run game or not. I feel like Carson Palmer has to have a run game in order to succeed.
Well, I'm going to say that I don't think we ever said that Carson Palmer's value went down. We were saying that Adrian Peterson's value went down without Carson Palmer.
No, I'm talking about when Peterson came over.
Yeah, when he got traded.
We were saying Carson Palmer's value could go up because he has a run game now.
Well, I think that's just opening up the offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Arizona's just been so hit or miss this year so far. Like, I don't know. They were having to throw the ball 50 times a game because they had no run game.
Well, maybe what I was getting at is we're not saying that Dak Prescott's value goes down with Ezekiel Elliott, but we're saying without Ezekiel Elliott, he'll be carrying the offense even more. I guess that's what I was trying to get at.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Though. I guess it's words are getting lost in translation, but beside the point, I was just thinking of something, wanted to hear y'all's input.
And Dak Prescott's a lot more multidimensional.
Yes.
Okay. And Carson Palmer's washed up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's dead now.
He's a good-looking
R.I.P.
Good looking
Needs
guy.
to go back
Carson
to the
Palmer.
Bengals, take over for Andy Dalton.
Yeah. All right, I do have another waiver wire guy. This is a tight end. What about old O.J. Howard? 6 catches for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. Is he starting to establish something with Jameis?
Yeah, I mean, you still got Cameron Braid there.
Yeah, I'd like to hope so. Like, I would like to see it, but do I think it's going to happen? No. I'm picking up. I think Hunter Henry might be available in some leagues. I'm picking him up over O.J. Howard.
Austin Safarian Jenkins.
Oh, if he's still available, yes, pick him up.
O.J. Howard is just he's a beast, though, man. He is big. He is fast. He is your prototypical who you want catching the ball out of the tight end position. Sort of like what we're seeing Evan Ingram doing for the Giants.
We got an Eagles update. Huge play, 64-yard touchdown reception for Mac Hollins.
What?
Who?
Exactly.
Where do they get these guys?
Oh, that's their rookie wide receiver, isn't it?
Interesting.
He burned that safety.
Interesting.
Is that DJ Swearinger?
Yes, DJ Swearinger is a part of the Redskins defense. The DJ Swearinger.
All right, so I think that about wraps it up. So any closing thoughts? Anything we need to know?
I would like to take this moment to share a bit of news with everybody. But I just found out today. You might notice that I'm a little bit more upbeat than normal. But I just found out some good news today. Nikki and I, my wife, are expecting a boy this
nice,
April.
Man.
Oh shit, we got another ad. Sorry.
I was waiting for some kind of drop. I was like, what is this?
I was waiting for some clapping or something. Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
The best drop I have for that is congrats.
So it's really cool. It's really awesome because my brother's going to be having a son around the same time. So in about 5 years, it's going to be T-ball. Let's go.
Yeah, get those Hargrave boys back going after that little run of girls there.
Hell yeah, dude! There's too many double X chromosomes running around here. Got to throw some Ys out there.
Well, congrats, man. That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
Y'all can have a damn Thanksgiving football game now with all the grandkids.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. And most importantly, the baby's supposedly healthy. So, it's the most important thing.
Yes, that is important.
Naturally. But
Muy importante.
other boy.
So, Britt, big Halloween party this weekend?
Sorry, I went to Cabo, and I mean not Cabo, Cancun. I catch myself being bilingual sometimes. It rubbed off on me down there.
It's not like you don't work around it all day.
Yo soy.
Yeah, whatever.
This is the racist part of the podcast, or?
Yeah, this is where we start losing listeners again.
I mean
so Britt,
put that on my gravestone. I mean,
all the listeners, if you're interested, Britt, I think, is hosting a Halloween party this weekend. So head to Britt's house. He'll be glad to have you.
Yeah, I live in LaPorte, Texas. So just hit me up. I'll give you the address.
No, we're not going to give that address, but if you can find me, yeah, more than welcome. That'd be a little creepy if you showed up, but
catch me outside. How about that?
Matt, anything important weighing on you that we need to know before we sign off here?
Oh, thanks for asking.
What's your costume, Matt?
You will find out. Maybe I'll post a picture on our Instagram. Oh yeah, that's something we can do. Follow us on Instagram.
I was going to give it Instagram and Twitter. Follow us at Fantasy and Chill. We'll be answering. Producer Matt's been grinding along, answering some questions for you. So if you got any questions coming up this week, who to start, who to pick up, just direct them our way, and we'll try to answer them best we can. Matt, anything to add on that front?
No, you did a good job.
All right, so I think that's about it.
Wait.
Wait.
How about for you, Mr. Keller? What's going on with you,
Very
dog?
thoughtful of you.
Oh, man, just grinding, just enriching those young minds, just building the future, molding minds.
Isn't that okay? Isn't that a little scary? Do you ever sit there and like lay down in bed and you're just like looking at the ceiling and you're like, I'm shaping the future.
I think Keller's just waiting on Christmas break, to be honest with you.
those that don't
Thanksgiving
know.
breaks in like 4 weeks. So.
But y'all get a full week off, right?
That's true.
Well, hot damn.
I mean, is it just like a daily grind at this point where you're just where it's just like another job? I mean,
no, I really like it because it really is something new every day. And I mean, those kids, I teach high school kids for those that don't know. So you can actually kind of talk to them and have a conversation with them.
Interesting.
It's always
when they're not on their phones.
Or high.
Mold them minds.
Nothing wrong with being high, man.
Yep. But yeah,
don't do drugs unless you're doing them with me.
All right,
that was a Kenny Powers quote.
Jesus, we are completely off the rails now.
It was the egg rolls, not the ecstasy.
Okay, so on that note, thanks for joining us. This was Fantasy and Chill Week 8 coming at you a little early, but we will be good to go. Depending, I haven't looked ahead at the World Series schedule, but we will be on either. Actually, I think they're going to play next Tuesday again, so it might be another Monday night show, assuming the series lasts that long. So we will see you next week. We out.
Holler back, player.
Rack 'em.
Jello Beats, holla at me.
You stupid. You stupid. What's 9 plus 10? 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 You stupid. You stupid. You stupid. You stupid. You stupid. You stupid.